Hi everybody. Welcome to today's live stream where we are going to be swatching acrylic gouache. You know what's funny is like I've heard everybody call it acrylic gouache, but it's like literally not written on here at all. So when I was making my title on YouTube, I was like, is this actually acrylic gouache? But when you go to like Blick or Jackson's, it's called acrylic gouache. So on the label, it says gouache, artist's acrylic polymer emulsion, opaque colors. Okay, I'm a little bit out of breath because today is the first day that I'm trying to multi-stream on both Twitch and YouTube. I've never streamed on Twitch for more than a few minutes testing it. And so I'm kind of going like all in, you know, kind of taking some risks here. I tried to create an aggregated chat, but the one that I have available, I use Mac. So the one that I had available, they're kind of limited because most people who are multi-streaming aren't artists with a Mac. They're usually like gamers with amazing PCs. So I am going to be looking at the chat over here for YouTube and over here for Twitch, and it might be a little bit confusing for me. I don't think that I'm going to get, I mean, I don't even know, like, if, like, I'm pretty sure I'm public on Twitch, but, like, I could maybe not be. I don't really know how this system works that well. I'm pretty clearly live on, or, like, publicly live on YouTube, but it's extremely delayed. So, just know your whatever I see in the chat, it'll take me a while to respond. So, let's see. What else do I need you to know? I'm going to switch over to our overhead cam here because I want you to get to see what we're working with. Because I've been dealing with so many technical issues, I really haven't had a lot of time to prep for these things that I'm doing. I'd really like to be able to tell you more about acrylic gouache and, you know, the company that manufactures it. Holbein, I think, is German, but it says made in Japan. I'm sorry, Holbein is a German name, but it's manufactured in Japan. You can see it right here on the bottle. Which camera will be better for this? Can you see it? Where is it? It's like at the bottom, and my camera's refusing to focus well. There we go. So, I think this is, you know, I'm glad I have these because I feel like, oh, look, a Rogue Winsor & Newton. That's from last live stream. That's from a couple of weeks back. I think that these kinds of things are going to be hard to get a hold of with the tariffs. So, am I not live on Twitch? I'm sorry, I need to check because it says I am here. But okay, thank you for waiting. Sorry about that. I will definitely cut this out in the video on demand. So let's organize these together. And so here, let me show you. Oh, I forgot. If you look way below this, you can see the watercolor worksheet. I don't know where that is right now. I usually keep it in here, but it's not there right now. And so I'm just going to show you what I did last week with the gouache. I check for information that's available, and I see if like, do we have, my watch is telling me to relax because I'm stressed. This is not going smoothly. So let me just sit, listen. Okay, so with watercolor, you have a lot of information that's super useful, I'm sorry, I got stressed because it's like glitching on OBS, and I don't know if that's what you guys are seeing, if you're seeing like a glitch, or if you're seeing, I don't know what you're seeing. And I don't have any way to like really tell. And I think I need to do some more test streams, that's for sure. Okay, yeah, like that, it just happened right now. Why is that happening? Is it because I changed a bunch of settings? So it could be just on my side, I hope. Okay, so you get things like, you get the pigment number, you get the name of the shade, and then you also get some other information like where, like how opaque it is. It's a little bit less important, especially with acrylic gouache, because it's very opaque medium. It's almost never transparent like watercolor. And some of them are, though. You get some variation in how they work. So for example, this one I swatched more than once because it just looked really blotchy. And the rest of them are just pretty consistent. This is Winsor & Newton. And so today we'll just be checking out, you know, oh, my clips are on the other table. I'm going to go get that to hold the book open. Wow, it's like every time I move, my whole screen goes like, shh. I don't know what you guys are seeing, and I hope that's not what you're seeing. Oh, it is what you're seeing. That's terrible. Oh, how sad. And there's no way for me to fix it. Oh, that's awful. I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing that, so I can't really fix it. Do I need that clip? Not really. Okay. So with gouache, it's great to use some firmer brushes. I've got some watercolor brushes that are very soft, and I tend to not use that with gouache. I tend to use something that can kind of scoop it up a bit more like a spoon. We can leave that there. And this paper that's in this book is so-so. This paper is much better. This is true watercolor paper. This is multimedia paper. And it's the binding, sorry, not binding, the, whatever's in it that makes things not sink through. I can't remember the name of it right now. But it like, it's not as good. Okay, so you want to soak your brushes so that the paint doesn't get up in here. Putting water in there first helps. And I actually have to tell you, I'm like a huge not fan of plastic. I try to avoid plastic in all the areas of my life possible, which is few of them. Very, very few. Like most of your food comes wrapped in plastic. A lot of clothes are plastic. Even when you find something that's like at least somewhat not plastic, it'll usually have a little bit in it. At least like, I mean, spandex is plastic, right? It'll at least have spandex or something. The pants I'm wearing are like 100% cotton, and that's so weird to find that. Oh, I wanted to show you here. So the way I like to line things up is I like to start with my reds, maybe start with white, and I like to have my browns on this side so that the blues will be closest to the whatever's on this side. It usually ends in blue. That's just usually how it goes. The way the rainbow ends up working. I'm just going to hold still for a minute since it's fuzzy for you. So I'll do the browns over here, which means we've got to switch it. So we're going to do it in this order. Because you want light colors to be compared to light colors. Okay. So, I wonder if I have my settings on too high or something. Like, why would it do that? Or I wonder if it's, oh, hold on. I have an idea of what it could be. Let me check. No, that's probably probably not it. I put a filter on to make sure that the colors were as accurate as possible. And that filter, the inbuilt filter to OBS was like totally messing up some of the colors. Okay, so I'm telling you, I don't like plastic, right? Plastic is not my favorite at all. Do I have white? I have to have white. Because with gouache, white is super important. Do I want to put these in the brown area? Yeah, I'm going to put them on that side. So I'm setting it up so that it'll directly go over to my page. And I'm doing it in front of you because I didn't have time to do it. Because I'm troubleshooting all this. And obviously, I'm still not there. Deep violet. Okay, so violet's going to go over here at the very bottom. And what do we want red violet next to? I mean, red violet could go over here next to that one. We could switch. We want these to be next to each other, crimson and... Let's see how things go. Because you want the violets next to the blues, but they can also go next to the reds. It's kind of confusing. Sepia brown. And I bought this cerulean blue because I didn't have the smaller one, and I really wanted that color. Oh, wow. I've got a lot of light greens. One of the things that I did with this particular set is buy convenience colors kind of exclusively. Although I don't have a single orange, unless it's MIA. So I bought a lot of convenience colors so that I could practice painting, not exactly from imagination, but like spending less time painting what's in front of me and painting kind of like my version of it, which is really hard for me. We have another yellow, more greeny yellow. And that's a more greeny green, a yellowy green. And these are more bluish green. I have so many bluish greens, and I accidentally bought 2 of that one. The amount of times that I've done that, and it'll be in brands that I'm not, it's not like I'm using a lot of it. Oh, here we go. I can put this one up here and it'll be kind of closer to the reds and the browns. That's good. Which is more blue, cobalt blue or cerulean blue? Cerulean blue is lighter, so I'm going to put it next to pale aqua. And deep ultramarine can go in the purpley category because it has some red in it, usually. And pink, where am I putting you? Oh, we have 2 pinks. Because with this one, I was actually buying convenience colors, which is almost nothing, something I almost never do. Okay, so we've got this all set up. We're going to put this in the middle, and then I hope that we can switch over to another view where you can see what's going on in a little more detail. I've tried so hard to figure out how to make this like less awkward, and I don't know. Okay, now I saw it fuzzy on the YouTube studio, but it wasn't fuzzy on OBS. That's so weird. What is happening? Can my computer not handle things? What is happening? Okay. I'm going to call this acrylic gouache, even though it's technically not written that. And then I'm going to write acrylic gouache. Acrylic, actually it says acrylic polymer, but we're just gonna leave it at gouache. We're gonna start with titanium white, and we need to do it pretty small because I do have quite a few colors. And let's see what information they have. It's a nice big, what do you call this? Okay, it's PW6. Nice big area to read from. It is not in English, so I don't know how to read it because I read kind of read French. Oh, Moonsol 9.5. That's so cool. Moonsol is like a way of categorizing color, and I've never seen it used in the art world on a product. So that's super interesting. Okay. Mooncell 9.5. I wonder if it's written on the other ones. It's right there. One of the reasons I decided to stream on Twitch is because it's so fun to actually like watch a Twitch stream. I didn't know much about it until I started doing live streams on YouTube, and most tutorials for you know what else I could do? I could just put it directly on the page. Then we don't need all this. I could try it. It's a little bit more contained than like watercolor, so I think that might actually work out. Yeah, and I didn't get any other information. I don't know what we can expect to get. Oh my gosh, they have detailed information about the color. Hue, value, chroma under Munsell. Can you guys see that? Vert de glace, ice cream. D069, I don't know what that means. Oh, okay, we have a permanency rating here. We have Series A, pigment, name. Okay, you know, for me, when it comes to gouache, you know, definitely permanency is like what I would want to know, because I would want to know if it's something that I could ever sell as a print. I mean, as an original. Maybe this brush is too big. Do I have my smaller one here? Yeah, I do. I'm going to dip that in water for a second, and I will examine if we have other information on some of the other tubes that I can look out for, maybe. Not really. So, okay, I like being an observer on Twitch. So I was like, you know what? It might be fun to do both. But honestly, this is kind of boring. It's not any different than I was doing it, than when I was doing it on YouTube. Because there's nobody there. And I'm not getting to see like the fun things that are on the Twitch side. Like people do emotes and they're doing... Granted, I mean, I'm watching people who are much more experienced at streaming than I am. I just started this a couple months ago. So, you know, they've got all kinds of fun stuff going on. There's so much interaction. And YouTube can be very quiet on a live stream. So I was like, you know what, let's try Twitch. But this, I'm kind of glad there's not a lot of people, because it's not like a high quality stream. But it is, I'm not experiencing... It's not any more fun than when I did it, than when I just do it on YouTube. And that's a little disappointing. Okay, so what I like about acrylic gouache is how smooth it is, because, you know, there's plastic in it. So that can be expected, right? Plastic tends to be a little bit slippery. And I think I also like it because it has my preferred colors. Like I mean, I did fix a few like good mixing colors, like this one and cerulean. So like if you do want to do CMYK mixing, like this is, the crimson is really close to, I really want to make sure I get all the white out of my brush. Otherwise it's really going to contaminate. I have to clean. I will probably have to go change my water at some point, because this is just so much harder to keep clean. It's harder to get the paint out of the brush than it is with regular gouache or watercolor. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, so this, and lemon yellow I got to do the CMYK mixing. That's probably what I started out with, and then just to check if I liked the brand, then I ended up liking it. So how many do we have on this side? Do we have equal amounts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, you go over here. So we're gonna have to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm just looking at space here and making sure I space it appropriately. Oh, right, white. What was the... Oh, it's very permanent. So I'm going to say 4 bars because I don't really know how they're rating it. Because they're using bars to like rate the permanency. I mean, I guess I could do the bars. Like, why not? Take a little bit longer, but whatever. Just a few seconds. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to do crimson. And crimson is PR122. And I'm too far over for you, huh? Sorry. And is that 185? Weird. They've written it in kind of a weird way. Like, it's not written like PR anything or PO or... R stands for red, O would stand for orange, which you might expect in a red. Where's our moonsole? I know that we found the moonsole on the front as well. But we got like a very distinctive number for moonsole. Moonsole N 9.5. And this one has hue. I just don't want to write all that down, because I don't know what it means. It's not that useful to me. So we're going to do 4 sections here, 2 of which are full. And I think we're going to leave it at that. Oh. Oh. That was a lot. Which means it's going to be kind of hard to get out of. I wonder if I can make that bigger. Okay, I can. Okay. Ooh, wait. Pop out chat? Oh, okay, that's nice. I mean, it's not perfect, but like, oh, that's nice. Except that it just got huge. Okay, we're just gonna leave it like that. Close pop out. But I can pop out a stream preview. I can see what you guys are doing. Sorry, I'm learning as we're going along here. I can't make it bigger. Oh, I can a little bit. There we go. Okay, now I can see more of what's going on. Weird. Yeah, we'll cut that out again. Nobody's here yet, so it's fine. Or if you're here and you're lurking, thanks for being here. I'll see that you were here later, but I can't see that unless you put something in the chat. I don't know that you're here. So thank you for all of you who are here to enjoy swatching with me. I typically find swatching like super chill. Like, it's a really good way for me to get back into art if I've not done it for a while, which because I have chronic illness, ADHD, and autism, I can get really overwhelmed and need big long breaks from anything. That's just how I am. And so sometimes I'll have to take a break from art, mostly because life's gotten in the way. I almost never am like, oh, I'm taking a break from art. Like I literally think that's never happened. Yeah, so you can thin out the colors, and I wanted to show you. You can't see it on the white, so I didn't do it on the white. You can thin it out. And the cool thing about acrylic gouache is that it's permanent. So, well, they say they're permanent, but when I have like tried to remove it, it'll come off a little bit. It's more permanent than regular gouache, that's for sure. So I've never taken a break from art on purpose, but when I accidentally have to, swatching helps me come back to it by integrating the materials into my life in a way, and then I can like kind of get in the, oh, like this color would be really cool for this, and I kind of get into it more and like get some ideas. And I've got a heat lamp on down here, and it's not quite cold enough to need it. I may have to turn that off. So I just moved it for now, but that's what the noise was. Pure red. Pure red. All that really cool information about hue, value, and chroma that we will be ignoring. PR 170. And we've got, oh, I am seriously making these way too big. This is going to be a problem. This is 2. Permanency of 2. Let's see if I can get less out of this tube, and then it won't blob all over. Yeah, that's a little bit less. Good. Blob all over in that it takes up a lot of space. Like I'd like it to take up the space, the same size as this brush, but it kind of, there was so much of it, it just smeared a little bit. Okay, so I was talking about plastic and how much I am not a huge fan, you know? I mean, I think everybody at this point knows that plastic's bad for you, but I've been reading about it for years because I think some of my health issues come from not being able to remove toxins, also from stress. It's stressful to be neurodivergent in a neurotypical world. Also probably just genetics. Like maybe it was going to happen anyways, but you know, I think that each person's genetics, you have potential. It's like, you know, epigenetics is kind of like a gene being turned on or off to a certain degree. It's telling me to take a break again. I may just stop this topic of conversation because I don't really like thinking about it. I don't like thinking about being chronically ill. It stops me from doing a lot of things that I want to do. And although I've come to accept it in many, many ways, in a lot of ways I haven't. And it really stresses me out. So I've been feeling a lot better lately though, despite the fact that I think I'm in perimenopause. So frustrating. Just when I thought I had figured things out. Although I do think perimenopause might be helping heal some of my MCAS. And that, do I want to talk about this? I said I was going to stop talking about this because it stresses me out. Okay, so part of MCAS is getting rid of histamine, like being able to like filter it out. Some of it's your mast cells being unstable. PY3, 83, P629. I've never seen like that 83 on there before, like the number afterwards. It's odd. I don't know what it means. And this is 2 level. Okay, so MCAS is complicated. You can Google it. Sometimes you'll get, there's actually more than one, and one's a little bit more, they're both very serious depending on like the level of severity. But one of them is just, there are 2 diseases that seem like they have the same name. And if you tell like a lot of like traditional doctors about MCAS, they won't know what, they'll know it as like this like really deadly, like quickly deadly thing. It's not like you can't die from MCAS, but you would probably die more slowly, I guess. You'd suffer more before you just died. Does that make sense? And I mean, it's like acute illness versus chronic illness. So like there's the acute one, and the chronic is the best way I know to explain it. And I did not put enough of this paint. Not enough came out. Okay, so with MCAS, it's basically unstable mast cells, but I also think I have histamine intolerance, and you can have both or neither, or one and not the other. So I think I have both. I also, for many, many, many years of my life, had high estrogen. My body struggled to process it out because of just certain gene mutations I have. I know because I checked. And estrogen and histamine use the same pathway to leave. And for me, you know, if I already have too much estrogen, my body's like trying to get rid of it. It doesn't really have time to get rid of the histamine. So now that I have less estrogen in my body, I am not quite as chipper as I used to be without help. Without help. I'm taking some medications now that are helping that, bringing me kind of like back to like my normal self. But I'm without the high estrogen, I'm kind of like more like a normal human in that I'm like less happy all the time. But I also have less histamine in my system. So I'm getting less mouth sores, less headaches, less body aches. And it still happens. Like today's kind of a bad day for me, but it's a good day compared to how it used to be. So like my bad days now are what my good days used to be. And that's amazing. Like I'm so freaking grateful for that. Okay. PY3. And we've got two out of 4 bars of light fastness. I always have a song in my head. It's one of my strongest symptoms of ADHD, I think. What did I just drop? Oh. And right now I have the song that I play to when I say be right back. I don't want that song in my head. I had a nice song in my head this morning, like an early 80s or 90s song. Maybe even 70s. I think it might have been a song that my mom would play for me that she liked from the 70s or early 80s. Who knows? That song was in my head. I'd like it back. But I guess it's better than... You know what I really hate is if I get my favorite song in my head and then I get sick of it and then it is no longer my favorite song. That happens to me a lot. My sons both seem to be able to listen to music over and over and over and over and just continue to love it. For me, I get really tired of it. We are on to Olive. Keep going over here and I'm like, oh, am I out of frame? Then I remember I moved the camera over. We're good. P-Y... Oh, what does that say? 83? By the way, sorry for the glitching. I don't know why it's happening. I'm going to troubleshoot. This is my first time doing multi-stream. Yeah, PY83. So there's a lot of different things that I did to make the stream run as good as possible. And they're just like recommendations from other people who made videos on what to do. But you never know if your computer's going to be able to handle it. And everybody is giving me advice from their PCs, and I have a Mac. Okay, so I was telling you I don't like plastic. And, you know, part of it's that health issues and not being able to get rid of the plastic. I read an article today. This deserves like the talking head cam. I read an article this morning. I tend to stay away from news because I did have adrenal fatigue at one point. Oh my gosh, this is off center. What? How did I miss that? Oh, I see. Just fixing it there for you. Maybe I can... Oh, I remember. I fixed it so you could see the dog. Whoop. There she is. I put that blanket down and then suddenly she's just been there for days. She just stays there. And I'm like, well, if you want to hang out, I don't mind. I read an article that there is plastic in our brains. And I think I heard that the other day, but then when I actually read the article on it, I was telling you, I don't read a lot of news because past adrenal fatigue and like MCAS, you have to keep things like super chill, and my life's kind of chaotic just because of circumstances like I can't change. And so I have to do everything I can, like that I do have power over, to be as calm as possible. So I don't read a lot of news, but I do read news sometimes. And like plastic in our brains. Now, I don't think plastic always has to be bad. And I don't think plastic is inherently wrong or unnatural, because natural is a kind of weird word. Plastic means it's going to dry. So we're going to have to make this rant not a big face cam moment. You see how it dried already? Can you see that there's like a lump there? Let me bring it up so you can see. So it dried a little bit. I also don't know why, when I'm switching scenes, why it's like delayed for a minute, why the camera's not showing up for a second. I think that's really odd. Let me check something real fast. Maybe the camera's overheating. Hope not. But I just did something that can help with that. Oops, didn't get the red out. This water is so red. And I forgot to clean the brush in the clean water. When I'm doing a painting, a lot of times I'll use the dirty water because it can help incorporate some of the other colors in the painting. So if I don't need the color to be like super pure, it kind of gives it just a little bit of something else if you use the dirty water. But this is not the time for that at all. Let's try that again. Let's pull some of the almost dried color. To be this olive green really thins out to be very yellow, and I'm supposed to be olive. Are we the same color? It looks so red compared to me. I'm not supposed to be olive. I just think I might be, based on some color analysis stuff I've done on myself lately. I haven't like had anybody tell me that. It's just process of elimination. Can't wear a lot of the makeup from stores. They're always way too pink for me. Sap green. PY 83. I might just be very yellow toned too. PG7. My best friend growing up was half Filipino, half Chinese, and we could wear the same makeup except for like foundation, obviously. Like we might have been able to like, if we added some, you know, foundations are actually supposed to be mixed. So we might have been able to like mixed whatever she was using with like a lighter shade that has the least amount of pink in it, and I might have been able to wear her foundation, but like we wore the same lipstick colors, and I thought it was weird because my friends who were the same tone as me, as pale as me, we couldn't wear the same color. I didn't understand, like, this is high school. I didn't like understand value versus hue and chroma and all that. Like I just didn't. And I was taking a lot of art classes, but I never took a painting class. I only took drawing and sculpture, advanced drawing. Like I took as many as I could fit in my schedule. And then I took a sewing class, probably because I couldn't. Probably because whatever art class I wanted I'd already taken. Whatever was available that would fit in my schedule, I'd probably already taken it. I also just wasn't interested in taking painting in high school. I don't know why. I used colored pencils a lot. Loved them. As you can see, that one dried really fast. We're going to turn off the heat lamp underneath. Because it just might be that the paints will stay moist longer if the room's less hot. A lot of times having a heat lamp under the table actually benefits whatever I'm doing, but it's going to be pretty warm today. I think it's going to be like 60, which is warm. It's warm for me. Warm for here. Warm for the PNW, Pacific Northwest. Which I'm so grateful for. I don't do well in heat when it gets too hot. Mint green, PG7, PY42, PW6. And we've got 3 bars. Woo! Extra light fastness here. So last night I was trying to figure out how to do multi-chat, and I was like, the chances of someone even showing up in either chat is kind of low. Do I really need to worry about combining it? And then I kept thinking like, oh, but if somebody did show up, it'd be so stressful to have 2 different chats going on. But I am, I guess, blessed today that there's like, as far as I know, there's literally no chat. Now, could be that I don't really know what I'm doing, but I think I'm looking like it. I think I'm looking at the right thing here. Like I said, it's so much. I thought going on Twitch would be fun. This is kind of boring. I mean, I'm entertaining my own self. We're good. But like, I just had no idea. I don't know. I thought that like the dashboard or something would be a little bit more interesting. My imagination was wrong. Or maybe that there are tools that I can use. But I think OBS is just, that's really mostly what I'm looking at. And that is boring. Very boring. I think probably most people have multiple monitors where you have OBS on one and then, but I'm not that kind of streamer yet. Like I've barely started doing this. So we're going to have to. Oh, there it is. I was looking for my pen. Emerald green. I'm sure it'll get more fun. PY3, PG7, PW6. And then we've got, how many bars do we have? 2. So although I don't really like plastic, I do like these paints. Should this one have gone here? Which one's more blue? It's kind of hard to tell. What do you think? Am I doing them out of order? I want the blue one to be further down. I just love the way these paints move. And I haven't used acrylic because of my aversion to plastic. And I mean, it's not like I think I can get away with it. Get away from it. It's not like I think I can get away from plastic. I think plastic is in all the food is always in a plastic container. Even if you get things in a bulk, in bulk, the bulk container's probably plastic at the grocery store. Unless you live on a farm and you're living somewhere where you're not eating food from the ocean, because you know the oceans are full of plastic. So you're on some random land that's never been accessed by humans before, and the soil is pristine and has no breakdown of plastics in it. And you make everything yourself, and you've never bought a shirt made of plastic or anything. That's the only way I think you could get away with it. But for myself, I live in a city, and I try to have as few plastic things in my home as possible, and I have so much plastic stuff in my house. Ice cream. I have so much plastic stuff in my studio. Like, it's just... It's everywhere. PW6. Even if I have... So this container's plastic, but even if this wasn't, and it was metal, the lid would be plastic. Do you see my dog? She's dreaming. She was kicking her feet. Oh, you can't see it on this camera. If she starts doing it again, I'll switch over. Yeah, there she goes. I wonder what she's chasing. She's running. She's going somewhere exciting. Do you see that delay? The screen was black for a second. I don't know why that's happening. So this is a whole 3 bars. I'm making them different sizes, and it's going to be like, oh, that one has more, when it actually, it's just the same as that one. I'm not drawing them to scale, is what I'm saying. I wish somebody was in chat just so I'd know that it was like really working. And I could just be like, okay, there's a whole bunch of problems, but it being actually live is not one of them. Because that's kind of sometimes the only way I know if anyone's being reached. So, okay, let me see something. When I was moving too much is when it was like getting more pixelated, and now it doesn't seem to be doing that. That's so weird. Why would it do that at the beginning and then not later? You'd think it would be doing it more later, because, I mean, I don't know how things work, but like when I'm doing editing in an editor, the stuff at the end of the editor sometimes gets more glitchy than the stuff at the beginning, because I guess it's processing it linearly. I'm not really sure. Okay, now we're gonna do pale aqua. Oh, I fit them all. We're good, right? Did I miss any? White, crimson, red, pure red, mustard, lemon yellow, olive, sap green, mint green, emerald green, ice green. Yeah, we fit them all. That's great. Pale aqua. PB15, PY42, PW6. You see that easel in the background? I've been trying to use it because it's very hard when you're hypermobile to keep like a good posture. And if you're painting standing up, it's a little bit easier, but I haven't been using I don't know how I would use the easel with all of this stuff going on. I'm sure it's possible, but I don't know. I don't know what I'd do. Yeah, okay, so despite, not liking plastic in my lives, I love these plastic paints. They're just so smooth and they dry to like a matte finish, which I love. One of the things I'm not a fan of with acrylic is that it's too shiny. And like I kind of like I've never seen an oil painting I didn't like, but for some reason I always feel like I can, like, when I see an acrylic painting, sometimes I just don't like how it looks. Like if they do it, it depends on how the artist handles the medium, I think. And I'm not an acrylic artist, so I don't really know what they're doing different, but some paintings look like I couldn't tell it's acrylic. And then a lot of paintings I'm like, ugh, it just looks like plastic on a page, which if you like plastic, you're not gonna have a problem with. But for me, I don't really like plastic, so I don't think we need this. I decided to lay my paintbrush in it. Next we have Ivory White. I actually use this a lot. I did a Studio Ghibli painting. Elegant Spital. Best viewers on streamboo.com. Remove the space. Is that a bot? I don't know. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. If you're not a bot and I think that you are one, I apologize for the assumption, but I don't know what you're saying. But thank you for posting, because now I know that the live thing is working. Or at least this the Twitch side's working. Ivory White. So I was doing a Studio Ghibli painting. I was doing no face. And I used the Ivory White because what I wanted to do was take the reference photo that I was using, I was kind of doing more of a master study of one of the paintings that they, hold on, PY 42.53. Is that a dot? It's so small, I don't know. PW6. And a whole 4 bars. Amazing. All the whites always are. They're like so light fast. And I'm like, is it just the pigments that is the problem? That makes things unlight fast? And if you don't have any pigment in it, you're like good to go. But yeah, I used the Ivory White in place of white on this painting that I did. Oh, I was going to tell you. It's the like the studio sketches that they do to like prep and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. Gosh, I don't know, in an animation studio. I don't know how to explain this. Whatever their pre-sketches are. I have never worked in an animation studio, so I don't know what that would be. And I think I'm going to go change my water because we're halfway through. I'm sorry that I'm guessing that person's a bot. Oh, and I know YouTube can't see it because I couldn't figure out how to get the chat to overlay or aggregate or anything. So I know you don't know what they're talking about. There was a weird message on Twitch, those of you who are on YouTube. And I'm assuming they're a bot because I don't think like discovery for new streamers. Pale Peach. I also used this one in the Studio Ghibli painting, which I would consider like a master's study more than a what do you call it? I'm trying to think what the other name for it would be. It's not coming to my mind right now. PR9. PY83. PW6. PW6 is what was in Ivory White. So that's interesting. That they're both very pale toned white colors, and they would still be. Oh, that's probably the white part. So this part's probably the colored part. This is two bars of Light fastness, not particularly impressive. I should show you guys the palette that I would use. Yeah, that's a little bit darker. I just want to make sure I had them in the right order. I'll show you guys the palette that I got. I wouldn't say that it was like I don't use these paints often enough, I feel like, to use a Stay Wet palette, but I did like that I could not like ruin something, but then I have to use paper. You have to use special paper in it, which means you're kind of throwing away paper. But I use a lot of paper and I paint on it and I make crappy paintings on it, so I use the tag Family Decent because I want parents to feel like it'll be okay if their kids were watching this. But I put decent instead of family friendly because I'm like, it's fine. But I don't know if I'm like what you want your kids listening to. But I've taught a lot of families like painting classes and stuff, so I try to keep all cussing to a minimum on any live stream. And topics too. Like, I'm not going to talk about anything like super scary. I wouldn't be opposed to talking about sex. Not sex, but like just PW6. Like anything, like things that other people can get offended by, like periods. I wouldn't mind talking about periods or saying the word sex. So I don't know. Maybe I should take off Family Decent. Maybe it's false advertising. I don't know if I can even edit these while actually streaming. Probably can't. So, but I don't think anybody's on. Oh my gosh, so much came out. Can you go back in? Would you go back in, please? Let's see if I could suck it back in. Did more come out? Well, I think it worked. Okay, good enough. This is the first time I've ever put tags on a video. You don't have to do that on YouTube. So it being the first time I've ever done this on Twitch, it's just not really sure what tags to put. And because this is an opaque medium, I just covered up the 6 and we're not going to be able to see it. So I could, if I thought that it was like super important, I could redraw it over the color once it dries. One of the things I like about the acrylic gouache is that you can get kind of sculptural with it. So you can make, it's not like a heavy bodied acrylic, but you could make things that are a little bit thick. Jean Marie Tucker, mint green is the best color so far. Hi, Jean Marie. Mint green. Well, I'm sorry that it's out of the scene right now. Mint green. Which one are you? Oh, this one. Yeah. Isn't that one awesome? I was saying I use these I use these paints to like use my color palette to do a master study of one of the Studio Ghibli like behind the scenes paintings of No Face. And instead of No Face being like having a white face and a black body, I did a sepia body and a this color, ivory white face. And then I used mint green, I think, for some of the background, and I used sap green, so I mixed those two. So it was a very like more muted palette, and I just loved it. Although I saw somebody the other day saying like that they, as an artist, you can look back at their art before therapy and after, and before therapy it was like super bright or super muted colors, and the after therapy really bright colors. And I was like, I've actually been moving from bright colors to more muted colors. Is that a sign of like personal preference for some people more than a sign of like increased bad mental health? Which I mean could be the case for me, I guess. But I feel like I'm always learning more and getting better, even if my life might be more stressful. More or less, I wouldn't say my life is more stressful now than it used to be. I'd say I think I've had we all have stress in our life. What sketchbook are you using? I am using, it's in the description box, and it is Strathmore. I don't think it's written on the book, but I'll check. Yeah, it just says Strathmore. It's Strathmore Mixed Media, but I couldn't like tell you the paper weight or whatever. It's thick paper, and I couldn't tell you how many pages are in it. But Strathmore Mixed Media. It was recommended highly by another artist. It was her favorite even for watercolor messages. Sorry, I looked over at chat, thought the word message, and said it out loud. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm losing my train of thought. Anyway, she liked it for watercolor. I don't. And I don't think I'd mind it for gouache at all. But honestly, like, watercolor paper is like the best for everything. I love using watercolor paper for everything. I know a lot of other artists do too. And that might not be the most sustainable option because watercolor paper is kind of a lot to produce in that it has I'm forgetting the word. It's not binder, but basically you have to do things to the paper to make it so that water doesn't just soak right through. I like muted colors, and I definitely may need therapy. Yeah. I mean, it's not like I don't need therapy. I'm not saying that I don't. I'm just saying that I don't think... I used bright colors before because, like, I would just paint, like, whatever I saw. And if it had bright colors in it, that's what was going to happen. But I like to have a more muted palette now, and it's mostly because, like... the way I look is kind of a muted palette, and so my clothes are a lot of a muted palette, and I've just come to really love like the autumn, spring, not necessarily a bright spring, but like a more muted spring. I just love that, and maybe I'll change my mind later. Raw Sienna, PY 119. I don't know how long you've been here, Jean Marie, but I was saying that the colors that I picked for these are the convenience colors. So in most of my other watercolor brands, I mix a lot of colors, and with these I wanted to just buy colors that I just wanted to use right out of the tube, just to experiment what it would be like to have that and not have to mix it, and to see if it would be easier for me to, instead of painting what was in front of me, to paint my version of like the best version of it, which would be more muted or whatever color I had or liked. And it worked. I did a lot better job of not accidentally painting what was in front of me when I already... Oh, I was doing a series of limited color palettes. So I would only use... Look at this one. Full permanency, all 4 bars. Yeah, so I was using a limited color for several paintings, and it went really well, and I was able to stick with it when I did that. As far as this, there's a lot of options here, so I don't know what I would do if I got mixed up. I thought I'd already done it, but nope, that's yellow ochre. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have the limited color palette. Okay, I'm going to try to suck some of this back up because that is just too much. It's way too much. Oh no, more came out. Fail. Let's try again. one thing I could say is that I've always liked color, but I think I like it more now than when I was a teenager. And I've had lots and lots and lots of therapy since being a teenager. So there's that. But like what specifically, which colors? That can probably be. I'm liking, you know, I like bright colors. Oh, look at this. No, this is not my paintbrush. So I don't feel like we're getting a fair comparison because I put this much thicker than this one. So I might add some paint for that one just because I want to make sure I know what they look like when they are thick and what they look like when they're watered down. And I'm not getting, I don't know if I've got the clearest picture of the yellow ochre. All right, now I've had chats in both Twitch and YouTube, which means both. Now I'm convinced that both are working. Okay, so like the way OBS normally works when you're not doing multi-streaming is that you see the chat, but you don't see a window where you can see like what your stream's looking like. So I can tell right now because I have that because that's not available to me in multi-stream. I can't see the chat. So I had to open the native window to check the chat. And so today I'm actually getting to see that, oh, there's evidence of what I'm doing. You can see the stream and how it is and whether or not it's blurry or pixelated. One thing I could tell you is, wow, there's a delay. So I had no idea the delay was so bad. I wonder if it's still as bad with just a single stream. I love limited color palette on only use black, yellow, ochre, and red. Oh, I recently learned about an artist who used black, yellow, ochre, and red, and he also used gouache. Oh, wait, yeah, like, isn't that... I don't know about him using gouache. Like a famous artist? Is that what you mean? When you use, do you paint, Jean-Marie? Or is it Jean-Marie? Which way am I saying it? I am like the world's worst pronouncer. So feel free to correct me. Although, I mean, you could write it out phonetically. I don't know. I don't know how I would figure it out. I heard that there was a streamer who like mispronounces people's names on purpose as like part of like their rewards or something. It's like, is that rewarding for me to mispronounce your name? Okay. PBR7. PBK6. Yeah, so one of the reasons I think I've enjoyed the acrylic gouache so much is, number one, it's kind of slippery. Like, just nicely moves across the page. Really like that. But it's just the colors I picked. I just like having my favorite colors. And I think that they do tend to have a lot of nice kind of muted convenience colors, like the mint green and I like the ice green too. I like the ochre. I love the shell pink and the pale peach. I was like, do I need both of these? And I literally used both of them within a week. Although I tend to watercolor most of the time, so I don't actually use gouache, any kind. I don't paint, and it is the American pronunciation. Okay, cool. So, but you like art, and do you like, oh, I'm assuming you like art, because you said things that make me sound kind of make you sound like it, and you're here. So, but like you like muted palettes. Do you have like a particular artist whose muted palette you love? I'm trying to think who, I would say on Twitch here, don't know how to, I don't think it's Gingy Beer. I think it's Gingy Beer. She has a really nice muted palette that I like. She's a UK illustrator, or she's like developing her illustration style, and I really like the colors that she uses. They're really similar to the ones I normally choose when I'm being more mindful about what I'm picking. Red Violet. And I think this one looks completely nothing like the outside of the tube. PV15. And it has no bars. Like none. Look, blank. And you may think, what am I seeing? Well, if you had bars, it would look like that. But there's none, which means it's not transparent. I mean, it's not light fast at all. We don't get transparency information on gouache as far as I know. Oh, just leave it blank. What am I doing? There's nothing to fill out. Oh, wait, it's not this one. It's a lot lighter, if I remember correctly. It's a lot lighter than what you get on the tube. I was hoping for a more grayed out purple. I could make it myself, but remember, I'm going for convenience colors with this particular set. So this is like almost the brightest color in the set other than the red. Let's see. The red and the, yellow, obviously. I have a lot of muted yellows on this particular palette. So as you see, when it dries, you can still reactivate it, but it's a lot harder. You can see right here where it kind of dried. And I could pull it up later but I'll kind of damage the paper too. And that can be the case with even watercolor. I love pulling out color. It's one of the main ways I paint. And I have on more than one occasion completely ruined paper, especially at the beginning when I didn't really know about good paper. It's much easier to ruin cheap quality paper than it is to ruin something like this, which I think is Winsor & Newton watercolor paper. But it could be, my favorite to use is usually Arche. Deep Violet. But as long as something is 100% cotton and is labeled as watercolor paper, a lot of the brands are really great. PV23. And this is 3 whole bars. So you go from like this violet, I guess that PV15 is just really unstable, and PV23 is amazingly stable compared to it's just usually you see of like if a brand is having a lot of not light fast colors, a lot of times they're in the same category, like they're a red or they're a blue. And I'm just surprised that we've got decently light fast blues, and maybe that's because there's a lot of white in them. And then we have not light fast at all purple. Like tomorrow, this color will be gone. I'm kidding. I don't know how long it would take. But I assume if I put it out in the sun, it would probably be days till you would start to see a difference. That might be a fun experiment. A lot of artists do that actually. They'll go and test their watercolors. They'll put a strip out, cover one side, and then to see really what's happening with their paints. But I tend to be more of I'm just so curious. So I have more than one brand, and I think that that's more for people who they're only using one brand, or they want to know about one of their brands and they don't really care about the rest, because that's a big project. That would be a big project for me. I remember the limited color palette. It's called the Zorn palette. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Thank you for telling me the artist name. Yeah. Minnie Small did like a couple of paintings with the Zorn palette, and they looked really cool. I didn't like it and did not care to do it myself, but I liked the experiment, and getting to watch her do it was great. So this one, that's much closer to the color purple I wanted anyway, so the fact that it's more light fast is good to me, and I would continue to use this in a sketchbook. Okay, so we've got 3 more. Ultramarine Deep. I need to do something real quick. I'll be right back. I needed to close the door because somebody is making noise. I don't think you guys can hear it, but I can, and it's distracting me. PB29. And I made that line like way off. That doesn't matter though, because we're covering it up, because it's 3 full bars of light fast. So I really love ultramarine to do paintings of my husband, because he's got like deep blue undertones, and the only color that I feel matches it well is ultramarine. And most ultramarine is granulating, which is like, deer violet is really pretty. I'm going to assume you mean deep. And I agree with you. Unless you do mean deer. Then tell me more. What is deer violet? Yeah, I like the deep violet too. It's I think what happened is I went and bought that one, and I was like, I wasn't looking at the light fastness because I figured I'd just use them in sketchbooks. But I was like, oh, that's not what I wanted. This is. So I went back and got another color, which was fine with me, because I like any excuse to buy more paint, because I haven't bought any in so long, but it makes me very happy. I think the last time I bought paint was when I went to Savannah, Georgia. They have the biggest Blick art supply store anywhere. So amazing. And you could get any paint you want, I felt like. Oh yeah, so anyways, this color, it's oftentimes granulating. And so if you're doing like a little portrait and you do any paint with granulation, it ended up looking really like odd. And so I would always pick this color to do him and be like, do his face, or to paint his face as an undertone. And I would just be like, why does this look so bad? And then I realized it was because ultramarine violet's very granulating. This isn't though. And the last live stream I did was with Winsor & Newton gouache, and we were talking about it. I was talking about ultramarine deep, or ultramarine, sorry, just ultramarine. And they were saying that they found one in Winsor & Newton that was ungranulating. But I feel like I would use this in an underpainting, because I don't care if it comes up. However, it would change the texture of the paper and make it, like, if you, like, I wouldn't mind mixing it with watercolor. I don't mind mixed media, but like, I wonder if it would change the texture of the paper to the degree that I wouldn't be able to paint with other colors on top. That might be interesting to find out. I could try doing a gouache portrait of him. I mostly paint animals, but people are animals, so I sometimes paint people. I don't do landscapes very often, even though I love beautiful nature. PB 115. I've never developed the ability to paint nature in a way that I don't dislike. And I know it just means I just need to keep practicing and keep trying. And that's one of the things I plan to do here on Twitch, is to just do a lot of practice and kind of be being held accountable. Like, Twitch is my and YouTube as well, if I keep doing it on YouTube. My accountability buddy. This one has a super strong smell, and none of the other paints smell. This smells like tempera paint. How weird. Maybe the wind. I'm like even sitting further back than I was before. What's happening? It must be the paint. Must just have a stronger scent. Maybe it's got a higher pigment load. They all seem pretty pigmented. All right, our last color. We have Cerulean Blue. Cerulean. I think it's maybe, is it cerulean or cerulean? Cerulean Blue. PB15. When you have a watercolor paint and it is one of these colors and it is PB15, it usually says :3 or I think 6 to show if it's more blue leaning or more green leaning. I'm pretty sure this is the green leaning one, and this one, the cobalt blue, would be more blue leaning, more red leaning. Erase what I said earlier. More red leaning, and this one will be more blue leaning. More green leaning. Because cobalt blue is usually its own thing. It's usually not a PB. It's usually literally cobalt. But maybe they didn't do that because cobalt's expensive, or they didn't do that because cobalt is toxic. But so is plastic in large amounts, especially if it's in your brain, which I said earlier, if you're just jumping on now. I read an article this morning that said that they have found plastic in everyone's brain. Like a lot of plastic, not just like a few little specks, but like a lot. And honestly, like, as scary as it is what it is. Like, I don't think that's going to change. I hope that maybe news like that increases environmental concern. Maybe people will start making some noise. But there's so many things to be concerned about right now. And I think it's so crazy that we're not more concerned about the environment or what we're eating, what's going into our bodies. People are weird. People are so weird what they'll focus on. Okay, I think we've got it all. We've done them all. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, yeah, we did them all. I guess they're just so much more spread out here. Here, let me show you why I'm confused. They're just so big. And I think these are so much bigger than my watercolor paints that normally when I'm done, this is kind of like equal to my watercolor paints in size. And so like they'll be, like the watercolor will be all lined up next to it and it'll look like that. Right now it's like much bigger. So that's why I'm like, am I missing something? Are we really done? We got it done in an hour and 43 minutes. Hour and 45 minutes, probably less. So I actually signed on here to troubleshoot 10 minutes early. So I have not drank water once the whole time. I'm gonna switch scenes here so you can see more of like the paint that it was and the swatch with it. This isn't dried, but these are closer to dry today than I usually am at the end of a stream because it's a little bit warmer in here. I ran out of my deodorant today. Well, I mean, there's still some left, but it's mostly scratching me. And so I used my husband's or my son's deodorant. I don't know. They use the same one. And so hi Leanne, just in time to hear me talk about deodorant. Oh, do you have some examples of nature paintings that you like? Oh, I mean, anything with Studio Ghibli, right? let me finish my statement about the deodorant. So like anytime I move, I'm like, is my son nearby? Is my husband nearby? I keep smelling them because I'm smelling the deodorant on my skin. I love swatching, seeing how the color lays and what it does. Yeah, same. When you do swatching, Leanne, when you say what the color lays, do you mean layering or do you just mean like lays on the paper in general? Because I actually like to know both. I don't think you work with watercolor a lot, right? You tend to stick more to like the opaque mediums. Or, well, no, because markers are definitely translucent and they do layer. So yeah, you would probably want to answer that. By the way, anybody who's listening to this before or later, Leanne Markle is an amazing artist and you can check out her. Where do you want them to go? Like your website in your name? I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Oh yeah, too. And this is so delayed, so I know you're waiting a minute. Actually, where did that go? Huh. Where'd it go? No. Why'd it go away? How weird. My preview went away. Oh, it's back. Okay. Best viewers on Streamview. I'm taking time to like read that chat message that I got on Twitch. Yeah, that's got to be spam, right? You're probably really telling me to like how to buy followers. That would be pointless. You know why? Because then like there's like nobody to talk to about art, and the point of doing these live streams is to like geek out about art. So why would I get fake people to follow me so that they could not talk about art? That makes no sense. Leanne says, on the paper, seeing the different shades mix, etc. I guess all of it. Yeah, same. Yeah, I haven't done any mixing when I was making this book. But if I have space left, and I think I will, I'll do that too. Oh, here it is. I'll just put it in a different place. This is a checklist I use for watercolor, and it's not super useful for gouache. But you can ascertain a lot of that information from the back of these. And you can usually find the information on our website. Okay, it's glitchy again. It stopped for a while and now it's glitchy again. I don't know why. Yeah, but a lot of this information you don't get on a gouache paint because they don't tell you if something's opaque or not. I guess you're just supposed to assume it's all opaque. Gouache. Meaning gouache is always opaque. But it has various... like if you thin it out with water, you might have different traits that are happening, and you're not going to know because they don't write anything on these. Maybe they say on the website. I haven't checked. Oh, also Leanne says, also there's testing the different papers, like how it looks on different paper matters too. Oh yeah, completely. I think especially with watercolor and markers. I think paper matters so much for those two mediums. I feel like with gouache, you can get away with a ton of different papers as long as it's not like literally computer paper because that's too thin and the water will soak through. You could, if you just used it very not watered down. You probably could get away with it. Would it be the best experience? Probably not. It would probably be really frustrating, but it would be possible. Whereas if you put watercolor on computer paper, it just goes right through. But yeah, Leanne says, then I like to make a swatch of my favorite colors to access easily. Haha, LOL. I feel it starts... I don't know why I said haha instead of reading LOL. Makes me feel old doing that. I feel it starts an insanity loop of swatching. Yes, that is so relatable. Yeah. Because like you can, because it's endless. So like if you mix two colors, what will you get? Right? That's exciting. But what if you mix these colors with this being the primary and this only having a drop, or vice versa, you get two totally different colors. Oh my gosh, what if you add this in? But what if you add this in too? Like it just, yeah, I totally agree. Like I've gone down that rabbit hole, and there are people who stream for like 6 hours, and I have literally probably done that for 6 hours. But I also think it's a great way to learn. I was using this like color app. It's like a game where you match up colors. I'm hoping that I can find a way to do it on screen, because I've noticed a lot of people who are streaming for a long time, they'll take a break and like do a game on the stream. And I like this game. And the funny thing is, I don't know if like this is true or if, but the game says that I finish matching the colors in half the amount of time that people usually do. Or like not the time, but like it takes fewer moves, which I wish I could show you the app. Let me try. It would make more sense what I'm saying. Let's see if I can find it quickly. Maybe I can't. Oh, there it is. It's called I Love Hue. Wow, it said good morning. It's never made noise before. Sorry. Leanne says, then I like to make a swatch of my favorite colors to access easily. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, wait, you already said that. How did I miss that part? I guess I got stuck on it. It starts the insanity loop of swatching. Is it? Oh, we have to start. Okay, so like if we play this one, it would take 57 moves. If this one would take 68 moves, and I'm able to do it in less time. My guess is that I'm able to do this in in less moves, because of all the time I've spent swatching. I like literally do really well on all those color tests, like recognizing color. Like if I do it with my husband, it's like he gets like some abysmal score, and I always get like a higher than average score. I think it's training. I doubt it's built-in ability, although possibly I'm drawn to this type of thing because of my sensitivity to color. But I also think it's also like trained. So it's a fun game to play. I'll show you so that you can see in case you want to play it yourself. This is not a promotion. Promoting? I'm not promoting this. It's not a paid sponsorship. I don't know if I'm making sense. Okay, so like, I think this one's kind of hard. Huh. Which one would be more? Okay, I think that one. No. Why isn't it not letting me? Oh, I don't know. Because that's closer to that color, right? I'm not necessarily doing it right. It's just like I'm just testing things, and it kind of has told me that I do it faster than expected. Why isn't it working? I think it's not working because of how I'm holding it. Yeah, but it's a cool game, and I've been using it to increase my ability to understand color and like just see it faster, because even though I'm like technically doing really well on the games, or so it says, like who knows who my competition is. It could be 5-year-olds who are only used to like 5 colors. But it like I do feel like using it over time will make me a little bit more sensitive to the nuances, because it shows it's all about color mixing. It's like if you mix this color with that color, what would be the color in the middle, and you'd have to guess it. And so whether or not I'm that great at it, I'd like to be able to do it in like the minimum moves, like just know boom 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 where it goes. I think that would make painting a lot easier if there was like less guesswork going on. Okay, well I think I'm about done. I've showed you what it looks like when it's dry. I don't normally do that, but I felt like we had time. And I also felt like it would dry in time for you to actually see it. So I'm going to log off here unless you have any questions, and I'll give you a couple seconds to say that because I know the chat is so delayed. But I would say I'm pretty happy with how my first Twitch combined with YouTube stream has gone. Like, a lot of bad things could have happened, like gone wrong, and some of them did, but not as many as I was expecting. So I hope that I can work out whatever was making it like, I'm gonna have to go back and watch the footage and like see like what happened. I'm looking around at everything, checking like, is there any setting that I could have changed that's like super obvious? Thank you, says Leanne. You're welcome, Leanne. Thank you for jumping in here. Anyways, I want to tell you guys all, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.